Elements and their compounds. Recognition of periodic regularities in physical and chemical behavior and the need to organize the large volume of available information about the structure and properties of elemental substances led to the development of the periodic table, a chart in which elements having similar chemical and physical properties are grouped together. The figure shows the modern periodic table, in which the elements are arranged by atomic number in horizontal rows called periods and in vertical columns known as groups or families, according to similarities in their chemical properties. The elements can be divided into three categories: metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. A metal is a good conductor of heat and electricity, while a nonmetal is usually a poor conductor of heat and electricity. A metalloid has properties that are intermediate between those of metals and nonmetals. Most known elements are metals. Only 17 elements are nonmetals, and 8 elements are metalloids. From left to right across any period, the physical and chemical properties of the elements change gradually from metallic to nonmetallic. Elements are often referred collectively by their periodic table group number. For example, group 1A, group 2A, and so on. However, for convenience, some element groups have been given special names. The group 1A elements are called alkali metals. The group 1B are called coinage metals. The group 2A elements are called alkaline earth metals. And the group 2B are called volatile metals. Elements in group 5A are known as Pnictogens. Elements in group 6A are known as Chalcogens. Elements in group 7A are known as Halogens, and elements in group 8A are called noble gases or inert gases or aerogens. Group 1A, alkali metals. The living cell differentiates between sodium ion and potassium ion. Sodium is the cation of the extracellular fluids, whereas potassium is the cation of the intracellular fluids. Sodium compounds are used widely in pharmacy. Sodium is commonly the cation of choice to optimize the pharmaceutical utility of organic medicaments, as in methiodal sodium or phenobarbital sodium. Because of the propensity of sodium ion to promote retention of water in the tissues, sodium salts are used with caution in the treatment of cardiac and renal conditions in which edema is a problem. Potassium ion has a diuretic effect. Lithium carbonate and lithium citrate have been found valuable in the treatment of hypomanic and manic states. However, because of the toxic character of the lithium ion, patients must be monitored carefully for blood lithium levels. Group 1B, coinage metals. Copper is an essential trace element. Small quantities enhance the physiological utilization of iron. Copper occurs in the respiratory pigment hemocyanin, in many enzymes, and is distributed widely in foods. The radioactive copper-64 isotope is employed in mineral metabolism studies. Cupric sulfate is the basis for Fehling's and Benedict's solutions, the classic test solutions for reducing sugars. Silver has an oligodynamic action. Water distilled in contact with silver metal remains sterile over long periods of time. Because of the ability of silver ion to precipitate protein and chloride in the affected tissue, Silver compounds such as silver nitrate are employed to provide local germicidal action. Silver is released slowly from these in situ precipitates to give lasting germicidal action. Cosmetic problems can result because of discoloration due to the photosensitivity of silver ion. Because silver compounds are light sensitive, they must be protected using light resistant containers. The soluble silver salts are toxic. However, the toxicity is usually limited, owing to local precipitation of adherent layers of silver protein and silver chloride. At the present time, gold compounds are employed in the treatment of lupus erythematosus and rheumatoid arthritis. Because aurothioglucose and gold sodium thiomalate are gold compounds that are absorbed poorly when given orally, parenteral administration is required. Auranofin is available in a tablet dosage form and is showing some success in the oral treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. The radioactive isotope gold 198 is employed therapeutically in the treatment of certain malignancies. Dimercaprol or British anti-Lewisite is used as an antidote if a patient shows signs of gold toxicity. Group 2A, alkaline earth metals. Magnesium compounds are employed for a variety of purposes in therapeutics. Magnesium hydroxide is used as a laxative. Magnesium sulfate is used as a laxative, as an anticonvulsant, and a concentrated solution is used topically as a bath, so that by osmotic action, a local infection may be drawn to the surface of the skin and be expelled. Magnesium stearate is employed as a lubricant in the preparation of compressed tablets. As the second most plentiful cation inside the cell and a natural calcium channel blocker, magnesium ions are important in many cardiovascular diseases. Successful absorption of magnesium from the gastrointestinal tract appears to depend on the nature of the magnesium salt that is used. Toxic manifestations following magnesium administration are relatively rare. Calcium gluconate given intravenously is an effective antidote. Soluble calcium salts undergo metathesis with soluble borates, carbonates, citrates, oxalates, phosphates, sulfates, and tartrates to yield insoluble calcium compounds. These reactions often lead to pharmaceutical incompatibilities. Calcium is essential to many physiological processes. Calcium is the cation of hydroxyapatite, the major constituent of the bones and teeth. Calcium is frequently the cation of choice to carry therapeutically active anions, such as calcium aminosalicylate and calcium cyclobarbital. In some instances, this is referable to better physical characteristics of the calcium compound. In others, it is a deliberate attempt to avoid an unnecessary intake of sodium. The artificial radioactive calcium-45 isotope has been employed in studies involving mineral metabolism. Barium hydroxide is soluble and is a strong base. Because of this, it often finds application in analytical and synthetic operations. Barium sulfate finds use as a radiopaque. Barium hydroxide lime is employed as a carbon dioxide absorber. Artificial radioactive isotopes of barium have been employed in pharmacokinetic investigations. All barium compounds that are soluble either in water or in dilute acid are poisonous. The most readily available antidote for barium ingestion is magnesium sulfate or Epsom salt. Group 2B, volatile metals. Zinc has many therapeutic applications in the treatment of various external surfaces of the body and in wound healing, taste acuity, and various ophthalmic problems. Example, macular degeneration. Zinc is distributed widely in foods. It is an essential trace element and an essential component of carbonic anhydrase and many other enzymes. Artificial radioactive isotopes of zinc have been employed in studies of mineral metabolism. Zinc compounds soluble in water or in the gastric fluid, for example, zinc oxide, may be poisonous. There is a relatively wide margin of safety between the required intake and toxic intake. The most readily available antidote is sodium bicarbonate or baking soda. In Japan, itay-itay disease is believed to be caused by drinking water contaminated with cadmium. Mercury and its compounds are extremely toxic. The best antidote for mercury poisoning, particularly mercury bichloride, is sodium formaldehyde sulfoxylate. Egg albumin may be used in an emergency if the poisoning is discovered shortly after ingestion. The white of one egg should be administered for each 250 milligrams of mercuric chloride ingested. Emesis should be induced promptly thereafter. The radioactive nuclides mercury 197 and mercury 203 are used in a diagnostic capacity. Group 3A. The borohydride ion, available commercially as sodium borohydride, is a valuable reducing agent. Some dietary mineral formulas include boron in some form, such as amino acid chelate, because boron appears to be involved in bone metabolism. Boric acid in solution is used as an eye wash. Sodium borate is a frequent ingredient of cold creams, eye washes, and mouthwashes. A common incompatibility in the use of borate buffers is the precipitation of insoluble borates from neutral or alkaline buffers. All common metals, except the alkali metals, precipitate as insoluble borates. Kaolin find employment as intestinal adsorbent and protective. Externally, it is used as dusting powder. Bentonite has gelling properties that makes it a useful suspending agent, as well as anion exchange properties and detergent properties. In paste form, elemental aluminum is employed topically as a protective. Thallium compounds are among the most toxic compounds and are absorbed from the intestine and through the skin from ointments and creams. Its action is somewhat like that of arsenic. Deaths have been recorded from a thallium cosmetic use. Thallium compounds have been used in insecticides, especially ant poisons. Gallium-3 has properties very similar to iron-3. In fact, Gallium-3 binds to transferrin, an iron transport protein, and appears to be useful in treating cancer-related hypercalcemia. The radioactive isotopes gallium-67, indium-111, indium-113, and thallium-201 are used as diagnostic aids. Group 3B. The lanthanide cerium as cerium-4 is a widely used analytical reagent. Group 4A. Activated charcoal is available in two forms: finely powdered for use in liquid media and coarse, hard, porous particles for gas absorption. The fine form is used as an adsorbent in the treatment of diarrhea. Carbon dioxide is an effective respiratory stimulant. Unlike carbon monoxide, its toxicity is not due to interaction with hemoglobin, but through suffocation. Sodium bicarbonate and calcium carbonate find extensive use as gastric antacids. Potassium bicarbonate is used as a source of potassium ion in electrolyte replenishers. Ammonium carbonate is an effective reflex stimulant. Silicosis, a lung condition resembling chronic tuberculosis, develops after long exposure, about 7 years or more, to respirable dust, or silica particles 5 micrometer or less in mean diameter. Attapulgite has adsorptive properties like kaolin. Talc is used in dusting powders as a protective and lubricant to prevent irritation due to friction. It also is used in medicated dusts and used widely in cosmetic applications. There are no problems in talc's use on intact skin, but talc must not be used on broken skin, wounds, or surgical incisions. This precludes its former use as a dusting powder and lubricant for surgical gloves. Because of talc's inertness and non-adsorptive character, talc is a useful filter aid. Only particles which passed through a number 80 sieve but retained by a number 100 sieve should be used. Finer particles suspend and are not removed easily by subsequent filtration. Magnesium trisilicate is employed as a suspending agent. Simethicone, a polymeric dimethylsiloxane, is employed as an anti-foaming agent. It has found use as an anti-flatulent in gastric bloating and in post-operative gaseous distension in the gastrointestinal tract. Germanium, found in bis-beta-carboxyethyl germanium sesquioxide, is purported to have immune system enhancing and anti-tumor effect. Stannous fluoride is applied topically as a dental prophylactic. The ready susceptibility of stannous fluoride to oxidative and hydrolytic decomposition causes problems in the preparation and storage of suitable dosage forms. Lead is a cumulative poison. It is absorbed readily in the intestinal tract and broken skin and is deposited in the bone. Group 4B. The most important compound of titanium is titanium dioxide. It is used as a solar ray protective. As such, it is a popular ingredient in various lotions and creams for the prevention of sunburn. This action is the result of its high covering power as a white pigment, a consequence of its high refractive index. There are several basic aluminum zirconium compounds such as aluminum zirconium tetrachlorohexglycine, which are used as antiperspirants. However, the prohibition against the use of zirconium in aerosols where inhalation is possible is still in effect. Group 5A. Nitrogen is employed pharmaceutically as an inert atmosphere in ampoules and other containers of substances that would be affected adversely by air. Nitrous oxide is an inhalational general anesthetic. Sodium nitrite is used as an antidote to cyanide poisoning. It also is a vasodilator, but is slower acting than the organic nitrite and nitrate esters commonly used for this purpose. Nitric oxide is an important neurotransmitter produced by neurons and other cells, causing responses such as vasodilation by acting as a ligand for iron in a heme group with a resulting lowering of blood pressure. This knowledge rationalizes the action of drugs such as the organic nitrites and sodium nitroprusside. Nitrite ion is toxic. It reacts with hemoglobin to form methemoglobin. Nitrites are also potentially dangerous because they can form N-nitroso derivatives of amines and amides, which may be carcinogenic. Nitrate ion is reducible to nitrite in the intestine and may cause methemoglobinemia. For these reasons, the use of nitrates and nitrites as food preservatives has been questioned. Phosphorus exists in two common allotropic forms, yellow and red. On exposure to air, or when heated at about 50 degrees, yellow phosphorus or white phosphorus ignites spontaneously. It is poisonous, and on the skin, it causes severe slow-to-heal burns. Cupric sulfate is used as an antidote. Red phosphorus is a brown to red amorphous powder. It is non-poisonous and non-flammable in air, except at high temperatures. Dibasic sodium phosphate is the active ingredient in various saline laxatives and enemas. Phosphoric acid is used to form soluble salts of insoluble medicinal bases. The dihydrogen phosphate monohydrogen phosphate system is a valuable buffer in physiological ranges. It constitutes the ion pair of one of the buffer systems of the blood and body fluids. Hypophosphorous acid is an antioxidant, used primarily with iodide and ferrous salts. The radioactive isotope phosphorus-32 is employed therapeutically. A complex basic calcium phosphate called hydroxyapatite constitutes the main inorganic component of bones and teeth. Arsenic trioxide is used as an anti-leukemic agent. There is an available arsenic trioxide injection at 1 mg per ml concentration that is used to treat promyelocytic leukemia. The treatment must be carefully supervised owing to possible serious adverse effects that include electrocardiogram abnormalities. Sodium arsenate AS74 is used as a diagnostic aid. Arsenic compounds are poisonous. If arsenic is still in the gastrointestinal tract, a freshly prepared mixture of ferric and magnesium hydroxides is administered orally as an antidote. If arsenic has already been absorbed, dimercaprol by intramuscular injection is effective. Antimony compounds have physiological reactions resembling those of arsenic. Its compounds are potentially toxic. Colloidal bismuth subcitrate is used clinically in the treatment of peptic ulcer disease. Hydrogen sulfide from the breakdown of proteins in the gut reacts with bismutyl ion to form the insoluble dark brown bismuth 3 sulfide. As a result, stools appear black. Soluble bismuth compounds are poisonous. Intramuscular dimercaprol is an effective antidote. Group 5B. Because tantalum is unaffected by the body fluids, it is used in sheath forms for the surgical repair of bones. Muscle tissue will attach itself to tantalum as though it was a bone. Group 6A, Chalcogens. Oxygen is employed as a therapeutic gas in the treatment of conditions involving hypoxia. Ozone, O3, an allotropic form of oxygen, is a powerful oxidizing agent. Ozonized air, or air treated to convert some of its oxygen into ozone, is used in various disinfecting and bleaching operations. Hydrogen peroxide concentrate is the 30% solution. It is a powerful oxidant and must not be used on the skin. Hydrogen peroxide topical solution is the 3% solution. It is a mild, fast-acting, oxidizing germicide that will destroy most pathogenic bacteria. 6% hydrogen peroxide is the only common bleach mild enough for use on hair. Carbamide peroxide topical solution is preferable to hydrogen peroxide in the treatment of oral and ear infections. As an ointment, precipitated sulfur is used as a scabicide. Sulfur ointments and lotions are used in dermatological applications as keratolytic. Sulfur also has fungicidal action. Sulfur dioxide is used in pharmaceutical practice as antioxidant and preservative. Sodium metabisulfite is used as an antioxidant. Sodium thiosulfate is used as an antidote for cyanide poisoning. It is a valuable analytical reagent for the determination of iodine. Selenium sulfide is employed as a 2.5% suspension in the topical treatment of seborrheic dermatitis or dandruff. Care is essential to prevent introduction into the eyes or mouth. In addition, the hands must be cleansed thoroughly after using because selenium is toxic. Although selenium is toxic in large doses, it is an important trace element. Selenomethionine SE75 injection is used in the diagnosis of pancreatic tumors and growth. Group 6B. Chromium and molybdenum are essential trace elements. Chromium has a wide margin of safety between amounts usually ingested and those showing adverse effects. The radioactive isotope chromium-51 is employed as a biological tracer in certain hematological procedures. Group 7A, halogens. Fluoride is being used over several decades as a dental prophylactic. Hydrochloric acid is a pharmaceutical necessity for purposes such as neutralizing, stabilizing, or solubilizing other substances. Sodium, potassium, and calcium chlorides are employed in electrolyte replenishers. Ammonium chloride is a systemic acidifying agent. Sodium hypochlorite solution is an effective germicide, viricide, and deodorant because of the oxidizing power of hypochlorous acid. Bleaching powder or calcium hypochlorite is one of the most effective and least expensive disinfectants. Its composition is variable, but hydroxide, hypochlorite, and chloride ions are present in the mixture. If the skin is exposed to bromine, the area should be washed immediately with a solution of sodium bicarbonate and treated with glycerin. In proper dosage, the bromide ion provides central depressant action. Potassium bromide is employed commonly. Excessive continued dosage may elicit a toxic condition called brominism. Iodine is an effective antimicrobial. Iodine is essential for proper thyroid functioning. Potassium iodide in solution is used to protect the thyroid when the possibility of accidental exposure to iodine 131 is anticipated, as, for example, in a nuclear power plant failure. The radioactive isotopes iodine 125 and iodine 131 have diagnostic and therapeutic applications. Elemental iodine is toxic. Cornstarch and sodium thiosulfate are effective chemical antidotes. Group 7B. Gastric lavage using dilute permanganate solutions is antidotal for various alkaloids and other toxic substances that have been ingested in small amounts and are readily susceptible to oxidation. Caution must be exercised to keep permanganate from contact with organic and other easily oxidized compounds, either in the dry state or in solution. Dangerous explosions may occur. Manganese is an essential trace element, being necessary for the activation of a variety of enzymes such as pyruvate carboxylase. Radioactive technetium-99 is used diagnostically in various forms. Alone and in combination with other metals, rhenium has been employed as a catalyst for dehydrogenation. Group 8A, inert gases. Helium, because of its low density and low solubility in blood, is used to prepare synthetic airs. Argon is used as inert atmosphere for industrial processes in which nitrogen, the usual inert atmosphere, reacts with the materials present. Krypton and xenon have been investigated for possible use as anesthetics. However, the sparsity of these elements in nature imposes severe limitations on such use. Xenon 133 is used for diagnostic studies both by inhalation and intravenous injection. Radon is used instead of radium in the treatment of certain types of cancer. Sealed tubes containing the gas are embedded in the tissues to be treated. Both radium and radon emit alpha particles in the first stage of their radioactive decay. Radon is a public health concern because it has been found in the basements of some private homes. Group 8B, Iron Triad. Iron is an essential trace element. It is the important element in the transportation of oxygen by hemoglobin. It functions in various cytochromes, which are essential oxidative enzymes of the body cells. Sodium nitroprusside is a vasodilator. There is evidence that the presence of traces of cobalt may catalyze the physiological utilization of iron. This has led to the introduction of medicinal specialty products containing iron in association with cobalt designed for use in the treatment of iron deficiency anemias. The radioactive isotopes cobalt-57 and cobalt-60 are used diagnostically and therapeutically. Group 8B platinum metals. Platinum is used in cancer chemotherapy as cisplatin. Carboplatin is another compound used in cancer chemotherapy. Any questions? If there is any, kindly post it on the comment section. I hope you have learned something today. Thank you for listening.